This video is brought to you by Raycon.
Hey dweebs, I mean friends, welcome back to another episode of What I Watched This Month, April edition. Boy, did this month go by fast, and you know what? I think this is the least amount of movies I've watched in a month since I started this series. Ugh, who hates movies? I know I do. I started the month by watching Monkey vs. Lizard, the movie. Now with a movie like this, I really can't get too upset by it. The title is literally Godzilla vs. King Kong. What in God's name were you expecting going into this? Personally, I went in expecting some fun-ass fight scenes, which this delivered, in some sort of way. I wish this was a bit crazier than it was. I feel like a good chunk of it is not them duking it out. I'd go as far to say a big chunk of it is not them at all. But when it is the two monsters, it's pretty entertaining. Those scenes on the ships were an absolute blast of a time. I mean, I wish they shot those scenes a bit differently. Like, I don't know why there were barely any shots to really emphasize the scale of the creatures. Every scene with Millie Bobby Brown and that one kid from Hunt for the Wilder People is dog shit. It's not a great movie. A movie about Godzilla fighting King Kong could be a lot goofier and a lot crazier, but for what this is, who cares? Then I watched Train to Busan, mostly so I could feel caught up with the Korean cinema video I did last week. I really loved this, which I expected. For someone who really hasn't seen most of the classic zombie movies, I really love zombie movies. When it's done right, it just gets my blood flowing in the best way, and Train to Busan is no exception. Even with some sloppy VFX here and there, and some plot points that I saw coming from miles away, literally, this was a ton of fun to watch. As I mentioned in my video, it doesn't redefine the zombie genre in any way, but it re-energizes it. It's kind of like, this is what a zombie movie in the 2010s should look like, you know? Then I watched John Waters' Serial Mom. When I first caught Greener Grass, I kept hearing it described as David Lynch meets John Waters, and I never fully agreed with that comparison until watching this. Waters' take on suburbia, which is such an exhausted subject at this point, comes off so fresh and hilarious. It never feels like he talks down on the material. He's just making fun of it in a really clever way. Kathleen Turner's performance as the serial mom is so colorful and fun. I will say, my problems with this are kind of my same problems with Female Trouble, and it's exactly what drags this back from being one of the greatest comedies I've ever seen. Those flaws being the third act courtroom stuff. I think there's a lot of amazing bits in those courtroom scenes, but man does it bring the momentum of an otherwise energetic flick to a grinding halt. But oh well, it's Serial Mom, what are you gonna say? Then I watched the original live-action Scooby-Doo. You know, I was never a big Scoob head growing up, and because of that I don't think I ever actually saw this film in full until now, but I'm glad I finally got around to it because this thing is a blast. I really don't care how dated some of these bits are, or how cheesy and predictable the plot is, or how bad the VFX look. It's a fun-ass movie, alright? Similar to Godzilla vs. Kong, it's the Scooby-Doo live-action movie. What were you expecting? If anything, it reminded me how great of an actor Matthew Lillard is. Then I watched Save Ralph, that new short film starring Taika Waititi and a few others. Usually I don't bother touching on shorts that I watch, but this was so well done. The stop motion looks fantastic, these little sets are so beautifully put together, and the message of the short gets across loud and clear. I actually attached a link in the description to a site with tons of resources for anyone who wants to start buying cruelty-free products, because I imagine after watching this, maybe you'd want to make that change in your life. Then I had another round again. Every year there's a movie that comes out that grows on me over time and that I end up watching over and over and over again because it's just that good. And I liked this when I first saw it, but I didn't think this would be the movie that'd do that for me in 2020. But here we are. Even after a third watch, this film absolutely bangs. I wish I had something more to say about it now, but this is literally the fourth time I've talked about it on this channel. I guess what I'll say is after learning a lot more about the backstory behind the film, it really opens up the story as something even more heartfelt than it already is. And that's what I like about it. I think a film about four guys getting plastered and facing the consequences comes across so fun and so authentic and so impactful because of the care and honesty that is put into the material. They really are just real guys being real dudes. And I guess all I can say for now is I'm so glad it took home an Oscar, and I think the American remake starring Leo is beyond, and I mean beyond, unnecessary. Can we please just learn how to read subtitles? Good God. Then I watched Josie and the Pussycats. This is a satire on early 2000s pop culture, but seeing as though it was made in the early 2000s and has a lot of the filmmaking techniques of that time, it's hard to differentiate what is and isn't satire in the film, but looking past that, regardless of what is and isn't supposed to be a joke, this thing is awesome. I had so much fun from beginning to end. It sets out to do exactly what it came to do and knows not to take itself too seriously. I love John Carpenter's They Live, but this is like if They Live was covered in glitter, and that's a good-ass movie right there. The movie is great. The cinematography by Matthew Libatique, the guy that does most of Aronofsky's films, is gorgeous. I love how colorful and grainy and weird it looks. And you can't talk about Josie and the Pussycats without talking about the music. The music is literally amazing and so catchy. Most of these songs could legitimately be hits in their time, and maybe even today. Like Pretend to Be Nice That's an amazing song right there. Honestly, if you're looking for a really fun time, this is the movie. Then I rewatched John Mulaney's iconic stand-up special, The Comeback Kid. It means nothing to call this great at this point because, yeah, we get it. I'm not saying anything new. I was just obsessed with this special in high school, and even though this was the millionth time I've seen it, it's still just as funny. Looking past his brilliant setups, John Mulaney's attention to detail as far as performance goes is so rare to see in mainstream comedy these days. It's why it's so hard not to like this guy. He not only has funny things to say, but he knows exactly how to say them. And again, I'm not saying anything new here, but yeah, he's probably the best comedian working today. Then I rewatched Wolfwalkers, so I got a few things to say about this. This was my first time back in a movie theater, the Music Box Theater in Chicago to be exact, and I just want to gush about that for a little bit. It was amazing being back in a giant dark room with a bunch of strangers and enjoying some popcorn at the same time. It felt amazing to watch a movie with zero distractions and to be fully immersed in what was in front of me, and it felt amazing to just, make a night out of it. The experience of seeing a movie in a theater isn't just the actual movie, which is something I learned in the pandemic, unfortunately. Seeing a movie in a theater also entails the part where you walk to the theater and the part where you stand in line for concessions and then wait for the movie to start and then stay for the credits and then walk home and talk about the movie some more. You get so much more than just the movie, and it's an amazing experience that felt so good to do again. Now, as for the movie, I loved it the first time, obviously, but I was obsessed with it the second time. Not only was it a total treat to catch this animation on the big screen, but it was also amazing to focus on other plot elements that completely went past me the first time. I love how rich with flavor this movie is and how authentic the relationships feel. I mean, all of the dad stuff made me cry. It's accessible enough for kids to love, but original in a way where adults can witness something they've never seen before. I mean, it's just great. I hate to say it, even though I knew this would happen, but I kind of liked this more than Soul. Then I rewatched School of Rock because Jack Black was trending on Twitter for some reason that week, and seeing as though I really love this movie, I was like, hey, fuck it, why not, round 20. And yeah, not much I can really say at this point. Great movie, iconic performance by Jack Black, catchy music, what's not to love? Then I rewatched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind for the first time since high school, and this movie is nuts. I mean, it's great, but it's just... It's bananas. I forgot how truly disorienting most of this is and how chaotic the editing and cinematography feels at times. But all that said, it's so controlled. It's an actual miracle that this works the way it does because I feel like it'd be super easy to fumble the bag on something like this. I'm a sucker for how depressing Charlie Kaufman is willing to go with his movies. Pretty much all of his work leaves so much of himself on the table, which is why I guess it's easy to make fun of him and his movies, but I love them a lot personally. I'm extremely grateful that someone has the guts to really just go for it conceptually, and most of the time, he sticks the landing. Then I watched the 2021 Academy Awards. I'm gonna count it. Yeah, I thought this year's ceremony was weird, but I did not hate most of the wins. In fact, I agreed with a lot of them. Every acting award went to who I was hoping it'd go to. Nomadland winning Best Picture was super satisfying, even though it was pretty predictable. The only thing I wasn't thrilled about and also did not expect was Mank winning Best Cinematography for some reason. I mean, I liked the way Mank was shot. It was honestly one of the few good things about that movie, but Nomadland was right there. Anyway, the terrible ceremony, even though they kind of made it work, all things considered, but some good wins. Then I watched Goal, The Dream Begins for my podcast, The Carscast. Yeah, I don't know, it's fun. It's a sports movie from 2005 about an immigrant who makes it big. Like, you already know exactly how this film is going to go down. It's super entertaining. There's some silly performances here and there. That's all I gotta say about this. Then I finished the month with Gunda, a black and white documentary with no music and no dialogue about a pig, some cows, and a chicken with one leg. I also caught this in a theater, which is a pretty amazing experience, as you can probably tell. And yeah, I really loved this. It was a super patient approach to telling a heartbreaking story. I just really enjoyed watching this, even though it was very sad. There are a good amount of moments that are very cute and surprisingly funny. If you're looking for a movie that'll encourage you not to eat meat for a day or two, this is the one. I'm also making my way through Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now that's a good show. And that's what I watched this month. Looking forward to hopefully watching more next month. Thanks for watching. Check out all these films and form your own opinion. And before you head out... No, but I really like that. Oh, hey everybody. Before you head out, I want to thank today's sponsor, Raycon. Right now I'm location scouting for a film that I might shoot, and I could not do this without Raycon's everyday E25s, their premium wireless earbuds. Because what's our budget? I guess it really doesn't matter because these puppies come in at half the price of other premium wireless earbuds. And how long are we going to be out here for? I guess that also doesn't matter because they have 6 hours of playtime. Because I like to listen to music while I'm location scouting just to get a better vibe of the film and what I'm going for, and these guys have the highest quality. I mean, the bass is unbelievable. Sorry, I was just listening to music with these Raycons. It sounds amazing. And not to mention how amazing they look in my ears. I mean, they come in a range of different colors and sizes, so you look cool as hell no matter what you're doing. Not only do I like to wear them while location scouting, but I like to wear them while actually watching movies, as well as recording my podcast and going for walks. I really hope it's not raining here when we shoot. The company was co-founded by Ray J, and do you know if Snoop Dogg's coming? Because Snoop Dogg loves these. To top it all off, they have a 45-day free return policy. Get your own pair by going to buyraycon.com/Karsten to get 15% off of your Raycon purchase. I think we should shoot here.